Namaskaram. Namaskaram to everyone, wherever you are. Well, the music sounds of Isha. Uh, the Native Americans who are referred to as Indians, and of course Indians from India. It's a nice, a good meld of these two cultures in the form of music, wonderful. Here we are at Bear Lake, Utah, a little over 6:30. Sun is yet to come up, no sign of him. Temperatures are somewhere around 6 to 7 degrees centigrade. Fires all around me. Uh, but as you know, the virus is still picking up momentum in many parts of the world, including United States and India and a few other countries. Still in India, deaths are over 1,000 per day. United States, around 900 per day. Well, though in India the fatality rate is low, as economy opens up, different social activity opens up, we're seeing surges happening. In United States, people are predicting an autumn surge, largely I think economic activity here is reasonably on, at least on the roads, on the highways. All the trucks are plying, maybe at least 60% of the usual traffic. And unfortunately, the President of United States and the First Lady also have fallen victims to this. Hope they recover soon. Well, many ministers, many people in the administration, including our Vice President of India, also COVID infected. I hope Sri Venkaiah Naidu recovers quickly. Considering age, they must take care. I'm sure doctors will do the best, but this is of great concern that people who are well protected, if it's happening to them, the regular population which needs to go out and do things on the street, the challenges of it. And some of the statistics or some of the studies show that 70% of the people who get infected don't spread the virus to even one more person. But the 10% who are considered as super spreaders, in case they are very happy they're in some way super, this 10% is giving to at least 90% of the infections are because of them. That means each one of them is giving to a minimum of 9 to 10 people. But 70% is a responsible population. Once they test positive, they're not giving it to anybody else. That's fantastic news. We just have to make the 70% into 100%. That is the real solution actually for virus problem and various other problems that we have. So, people who are calculating post-pandemic, what do I do? Please don't jump into that too quickly. Nobody told you it is like some kind of a thing on a particular date, we can say virus over and we're going to do something new. No, it will not happen that way. I hope, I know like the important thing is that we must come up with a treatment protocol. Like we have managed various other killers like tuberculosis, malaria, dengue, we have a effective treatment protocol. Because of that, we think we are free from it, but it's all over the place anyway, but We are managing without being worried about those things because we have a treatment protocol. The same needs to happen with this, that we must have an effective treatment protocol. I'm sure a lot of work is being done in that direction, and that could be one of the reasons for the number of recoveries. But at the same time, there is still no consensus on this is the way to treat this. That needs to happen. Today happens to be the World Animal Day. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the World Animal Day. 4th of October is the World Animal Day. I'm sorry, a little bit of this fire smoke in my eyes, the wind is changing direction. It's okay, it's all right. Just to give you, if you already do not know, 200 million animals killed for food daily on land, and 3 billion, including aquatic life, every day killed for human consumption. 200 million land animals and 3 billion aquatic creatures being killed for human consumption of 7.6 billion people. This amounts to 72 billion land animals and 1.2 trillion aquatic animals for food every year. In the last 50 years, sorry. In the last 50 years, the meat consumption in the world has gone up sixfold. One reason for this is the weakening of the soil and vegetable matter not having substantial strength in it, substantial nourishment in it. This is one reason why meat consumption have gone up, and another reason is meat industry is aggressively pushing their products, and another reason is, unfortunately, whatever is done in the West, particularly in America, everybody thinks that is the right thing to do. Now, every doctor in the world is telling you that red meat could be the cause of various ailments, whether it is cardiac problems, whether it is cancer or various other issues, or because of consumption of red meat, it has to be brought down. But in India, many doctors are saying you must eat meat, otherwise there's not enough nourishment. They're not very wrong, because unfortunately they're not very wrong, because it is said that in the last 25 years, the vegetables that you buy in the market in India, their nourishment value has come down by 40%. This is the first generation where we have a clear picture of the value of nature and the grave situation we are facing. Maybe we are the last generation who can do something significant about it right now. I hope that significant action happens. I have been meeting important people in America who who have the necessary technologies and also access to fund so that significant things can be done in tropical lands, because fixing the tropical lands is the quickest way to turn the climate change effects, reverse the climate change effects upon the planet. Just the Kaveri Calling project, by all estimates, shows that If we plant this 242 crore or 2.42 billion trees in the Kaveri basin of 83,000 square kilometers, it would sequester anywhere between 9 to 12 trillion liters of water, and 8 to 12% of the carbon sequestering that we as a nation, India has promised the world in Paris Accord, whatever we have promised, 8 to 12% of that could be fulfilled just by this one project. You know why? I'm I'm pushing it like I'm possessed with Kaveri. Yes, I am. If you are not, you will be sorry, and your children, the next generation of people, will look back at us with resentment, not with pride, not with respect, not with regard, but with resentment. Well, out of the 51 million square kilometers of land used for agriculture, 40 million 40 million square kilometers, that is 77% of the agricultural land, is used to raise meat-giving animals and their food. Yes, 77% of the agricultural land is used to raise cattle and their feed. If only, if we reduce this 200 animals killed for food daily to 100 million, that is, if you reduce your meat diet by 50%, I'm not even asking you to give it up. If you reduce it by 50%, 20 million square kilometers of land would be available to do tree-based agriculture. One important thing that every one of you must strive to do right now is, at least 30% of your diet should come from trees. Please, everybody, commit yourself to this, because this is the saving grace for future. That 30% of our diet is coming from trees, not from monoculture of 3-month, 4-month crop patterns. Average decline in the animal population, that is the vertebrates on the planet, from 1970 to 2016 is 70%. 70% of the vertebrate population is gone in a matter of less than 50 years. Well, the animals or the animal world is hiring professionals to curse humanity, to use swear words at humanity. It seems it happened. 5 African grey parrots in Lincolnshire Wildlife Park in UK had to be separated after they kept encouraging each other to swear at visitors with the choicest of words. So when they were kept together, each one of them knew few words, but they learned from each other, and every time they use filthy swear word, people laugh. Looking at this, they started using the swear words and they all started laughing by themselves. And among the 5 of them, they picked up substantial vocabulary. Everybody was happy because it's just reflecting the society in which we are living. That we swear at everything that sustains us, we damage everything that sustains us, we damage everything that's a part of our life. And now, in the weekend, children were to come and visit the park, so they had to separate the parrots and put it away from display because the words that they were teaching are… would be an unfortunate lesson for the children. So I think maybe the animal world hired these 5 parrots to tell us who we are. This time we get the point. being here, exploring spiritual America, going through various Native American reservations and meeting people and feeling out sites and spaces where things have happened in the past, wonderful things and painful things, glorious things and shameful things, all happen. One thing that stands out about the Native American culture is their love for land. It is even inappropriate to say love for land because it is not that they love the land, they are the land. Even you and me are land, but most people don't get it till you bury them, that we are land. We are just an outcrop of land which can prance around a little bit, but still land. This is a piece of land. So this is a culture which lived consciously that they are land. They lived as land and always willing to be one with land. Well, that kind of sensitivity needs to come back. If Native American mysticism and spiritual process doesn't come back in its full flow, form, as many people may not be able to relate to it, but this dimension of their spirituality is very relevant for today and tomorrow, for this generation and the next, that people live understanding, knowing, being conscious that we are just land. Only if land is good, we are good. Only if the soil is good, we are good. When we say mysticism, mysticism is not some philosophy or a belief system or an ideology. Mysticism is an outcome or a consequence of the natural longing within a human being to know, experience and explore dimensions which are beyond limits for us right now. What are our limits? Our limits are our senses, what we can see, what we can hear, what we can smell and taste and touch. These are our limits. The boundaries of your experience, the boundaries of your knowing are just your sense organs. So the longing to know beyond this is a natural, intrinsic dimension within human intelligence. Human intelligence, if it is not contained by dogma, if it is not crippled by belief systems, if it is not stymied by absolutism, this is it, that is it, God said this, God said that. If you don't cripple your intelligence, it is natural for human intelligence to long to know something more than what it knows right now. The consequence of this longing is mysticism. So, I'm saying this because I'm getting a lot of questions, people asking, Sadhguru, how do you find Native American mysticism different from the Indian mysticism? Well, culturally we may be different, but when it comes to mysticism, there is no such thing as Indian mysticism African mysticism, American mysticism, there is no such thing, because mysticism is just exploration of the reality of existence, which is right now beyond physicality, because of which your senses are not able to perceive. Physical nature itself is a vast process. Modern science has made significant strides in exploring physical spaces. But though it is exciting and intriguing, they also know this is quite a hopeless effort, because now we are talking about millions and trillions of light years. When are we going to explore the whole cosmos? So the physical space, as exciting as it may be, is, in terms of exploration, it is a endless exploration. It may keep generations and generations of people busy, or traveling or hurtling through empty space, we may get bored and we may give up that exploration after some time. Because from one star to another star, from one galaxy to another galaxy, your interest and your excitement may not stay, and it will not stay. So mysticism is not looking at exploring physical spaces, it is about exploring dimensions beyond the physical nature. That means fundamentally, using some method, doesn't matter what, some method to transcend the limitations of sense perception, so that we can touch and experience dimensions beyond the physical. The mystics of this world, right from ancient times, have been of various kinds. One will not resemble the other because everybody does it in their own way. Everybody finds a little passage of their own. But there is a whole science, the yogic sciences are about this, that you can work systematically to transcend. It need not necessarily be a chance happening. So Native American mysticism is of a certain sort. We will bring many aspects of their pursuits and their experiences. But one thing we need to understand, being today almost everybody having been to school, they naturally have misunderstood memory as intelligence, because whoever could remember every word in the textbook looked smart in a classroom. Well, we must understand this is not accumulative knowledge. Cumulative knowledge is not going to help. Knowing and knowledge are two different things. Knowing is like daylight, just beginning to happen here, sunrise it's just there. Knowledge is a cumulative or an accumulated dimension that you have to carry. It is a sack on your head and it's heavy. So, it is important to understand mysticism is not a philosophy, not an ideology, not a belief system, not of this land or that land. It is an intrinsic longing in human intelligence, because human intelligence has reached a certain level of evolution. You cannot keep it satisfied with what you already know. You cannot keep it satisfied with absolutism of religion or textbook level of science. So, we will take you through this to whatever extent we've not been able to process many things because we are riding from place to place and not been able to deliver the goods to you in terms of the exciting things that we see and experience. Uh, we'll do this as we go by. Be with me, ride with me.